I'm Waves, and today I'm going to be showing you a cool scratch art activity that you can do. So the first thing that you're going to need for this craft is a thick piece of paper. So the reason that we need a thick piece of paper is because we're going to be painting over it, so we want to make sure that nothing runs through the paper. So you can use cardstock, you could even use construction paper, so just make sure that it's nice and thick. The next thing you're going to need is some crayons. So you can use any type of colors that you want, any brand of crayons. Just make sure you have lots of different colors so you can make it nice and colorful. And the next thing you're going to need is some black paint. I just have regular acrylic black paint, so that works best. You're going to need a paintbrush to mix your paint and to paint over your colors. You're also going to need something to put the paint in, just to mix it so you can easily access it and put it onto the piece of paper. You're going to need some dish soap, so any type of soap will work. You could even use hand soap if you'd like. And then the last thing you're going to need is something sharp. I'm using just like a skewer. You could also use a toothpick. You could use a popsicle stick, just anything nice and sharp. And that's everything that you will need. Okay, so I just made mine a little bit smaller just so you guys can see a better idea of how it will look. But you can do yours any size you'd like. I'm starting off by picking my crayon colors, and I decided to do a rainbow just because I think that will look really nice underneath the black paint. So this is the part where you let your creativity take over. So you can do any types of design, any type of pattern. If you want to do all one color, you can. It's completely up to you. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to do mine in stripes. So I'm going to make a rainbow pattern. So usually what I like to do is just like start by drawing a line on the corner of the paper and then filling that in with my first color, which is red. So you want to make sure that you color pretty hard on the paper so that you don't see a lot of white underneath the colors. And just make sure it looks like a nice solid color. So I'm going to be doing that same kind of line pattern all the way across my paper with all of my colors. Okay, so now that you guys have your coloring done, this is the good part because it's going to kind of cover everything, so even if you did it messy, that's okay. So first, you're going to want to get something to mix your paint in because you're going to be mixing the paint and the soap together. So I'm just going to take my black paint and I would put a good amount into or onto whatever you're using. Just enough so that you can cover your whole piece of paper. So make sure you have a good amount of paint because you want to get a good thick layer of paint onto your piece of art. So once I have the black paint in, I'm going to be adding some soap to it. I would add about half of the paint that you added. So you don't need a lot, but just make sure you have probably about like half of what paint that you put in. So I just put a little bit in, that's what my mixture looks like, and I'm going to use my mixing tool and mix that together. And make sure it's all nice and mixed. You can add more paint as you go if you don't have enough, and then just make sure you're adding the soap to it as well because that is what we're going to need to scratch off the paint. So I have all of mine nice and mixed together. And what you want to do is just cover your entire piece of paper and make sure it's all nice and black so you can't see any of the color through. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'm just making sure I'm going over all of it. And now once you finish that, you're just going to wait for that to dry. So that should take about 5 to 10 minutes. Just make sure it's not shiny anymore, and when you touch it, it's not wet. And then we will scratch it after. Okay, so now this is the fun part. So now that your piece of art is finally dry, we are going to take our tool that's a little bit sharp, not too sharp though, and we're going to kind of pretend like you're drawing with a pencil and a paper, but you're kind of scratching the paint off. So I'll show you kind of what it looks like underneath. So when you're scratching it, it's going to reveal the colors that you put at the beginning on top, so you can kind of see what design you put underneath it. So if this area I did red, so if I scratch it, you can see the red come up underneath. So you can draw whatever you would feel like. So anything you desire, make it look fun, make it look cool. This is where your creative side comes out. So I am going to draw a flower, so I will show you what that looks like, and you can watch me as I do it. So you don't have to press that hard on the paper because it will come off very easily. And that is why the soap is very important, because it helps the paint scratch off easier. If you were to do it without the soap, the paint would kind of chip off and scratch off and it wouldn't look that nice. So this allows you to make it more detailed, and you can make whatever design you want. This craft is very fun, and you can do so many different things with it. You can do a bunch of different patterns underneath the black and see what you come up with. So that is what it will look like, and everyone's will be different depending on what colors you put underneath and what picture you want to draw. So that was this little scratch art activity you guys can do. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys had fun, and I hope you can do this craft and share it with your friends, your family. Please show us if you do it. Please let us know what it looks like and if you enjoyed it. And stay safe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Thanks for joining the Summer Camp Pals for another great video. For more videos like this, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. We've got great activities for you to follow along with all summer. If you want to hang out with the BGC Pals in person, be sure to check out our after-school program at 20 locations across Durham region, get connected with one of our great evening programs in the fall, or join one of our other amazing programs. You can find details about all of these programs and more at bgcdurham.com. See you next time!